Are we recording? We are. Oh dear, taking a while to get this up. Anyway, I'm going to try and do a little review of this new Free Investigators book. I try and not do any spoilers. So, it's been years and years, 35 years? 36 years, probably, since the last book, Crime Busters. I mean, I've got like, as you can see behind me, so I thought I'd do it here. I've got 300 different covers. And this one is my favourite, Vanishing Treasure. It's probably my favourite story of all. And this is one of my original books. I think I only kept this one. For some reason, I just put little stickers on the side. This is from this one is from 1985, but the book's older than that, obviously. And for some reason, I printed in it. I got a typewriter, and I printed. Ridiculous. So we've been waiting all these years, and they did some German ones, didn't they? You've got here maybe about 20 of them. I haven't even read most of these ones, and this is my first introduction to the series. Stuttering Parrot, in probably about 1985. My mum got me this cassettes. You know, some people don't even know what they are. There you go. And I went back, got another one, and I saw the book. So, you know, I'm a long time collector, and I'll show you them all after. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it up and down? It might be a bit like the scales, you know, like that. So first of all, let's just start off with the cover. Now, the artwork, it's okay, but it's not the kind of thing that I would like. I'd rather it with them on the front. It's just more exciting to see the Free Investigators on the front, or some kind of a scene, something like that. So first off, I'm not, you know, I wasn't really that keen on it. And then there was the name, The Mystery of the Abecedarian Academy, and then the other one's Brobdingnagian Beast, and the other one's Chimera. So they're all A, B, C, D, E, F, to get going like that. So which I thought was a bit odd, a bit strange as well. And in the book, it kind of like says it was Bob's idea to do them alphabetically. So that's the idea. Now, what's happened is, I think a lot of you will know now, the original author, Robert Arthur, his daughter, has started writing the books now. So she's brought them back. She's got the rights to the Free Investigators. And this book is about 330 pages, where the original books were about something around about 100, and this one's 160. So they're around about something like 140, 150, 160. And I started off reading it, and it really doesn't get going until about page 120, 130. You start to get into the story. There's a lot of like background into it, where like in the original books there's background about Bob, Pete and Duke, where they came from, kind of thing. But it was always like a couple of pages just to get you into it, and then it would start off with the story. But this one, she's kind of like gone into more of their background. So Duke's parents, the mother's like Serbian, and the dad, where he's from, and then you've got Pete's parents, the dad, you know, like Spanish, and then Bob's Chinese, and it just goes on and on and on a bit. It's kind of like a bit like Ancestry.com, where it's just, I think she's gone in too much with that. So you get a bit of the story, what they've got to do with the case they've got, and then she goes kind of like, not trying to be rude, but goes off on one where it's like she's thinking out loud, where the story comes along, and then you get all this background stuff, and then you're waiting for the story to start up again, and it kind of like stutters. No pun intended, stuttering parrot, but it kind of like stutters. Then she goes back on track again into the story. Then it veers off, and then it's kind of like a bit like I don't know, yeah. And it goes into it's like a Wikipedia entry as well, where she'd talk about Andrew Carnegie or John Myrne, like historical figures, and then you're waiting for it to get back to the story again. And it takes a while to get back into it. and that's the problem. Where I think this book could be, it's. I don't mind a book, a kid's story, like 330 pages. If it's story, like you look at the Harry Potter books. I mean, some of them are like 500-600 pages long. Like really like long. But it's also, it just doesn't. It's a page turner. You can't wait to turn for the next page. It's exciting. Whereas this is not full of story. It's full of. It's like waffle stuff that really shouldn't even be. And it's got nothing to do with the story. And with these original books, like they're exciting. Like 1 minute one of them's getting kidnapped, or they're being bundled in something, and the others, one of them got to try and be rescued, and they got on the walkie-talkie in the I don't know, they've been kidnapped, something like that. It's exciting. Whereas in this book, there's really nothing like that. There's no sense of they're in immediate danger. There's a little bit kind of something in it, but it's not even that bad, dangerous. It's very pedestrian, I would say, in the way the story goes. It's kind of quite slow, the way it carries on through. And there were some parts I was kind of like a bit excited because they go up to Yosemite, and I did exactly that route in 2014 from Los Angeles. We drove up to Yosemite from Bakersfield, Fresno. So I think, this is going to be brilliant because I can, relate to that. And when you're in Yosemite, it's absolutely an amazing place. If you've never been, I mean, you've got the sites like Tunnel View, Bridalveil Falls. You've got Sentinel Dome, which we climbed up, Tuolumne Meadows. We stayed at a place called Lodge at the Falls. So I was thinking we're just going to really go in description of it and these places, and maybe something could happen while I don't know, one of them slips off the side of while they're climbing something, while they're climbing one of the, some kind of adventure. But it's the most exciting thing that happens there is like Pete sees this little thing that looks like a mouse, where it's not that descriptive in those parts, but then she goes on about their ancestry and different things. And there's another part where they've got this girl investigator. She's kind of like part of the group a bit now. I don't really mind they introducing new characters, but there's a bit where she goes about handshakes. She talks about the history of handshakes, where the Romans, they'd shake each other's forearms to make sure they haven't got knives, and then medieval people, and I'm like, but it's a bit too much. And then she'd discuss it with Dupe, and it's like, I don't know, you don't need all that. It's kind of like she's in between telling a story for kids, but then she wants to give you history lessons, or what is it doing? Is it an educational book or is it a story? She's like stuck in between the two things. That's the way I see it. The story's good. The story's okay, but I think there could be a lot more bits where you want to turn the page, you're excited to say what's going to happen next. With that, I don't really see that happen in this story. It's not really that exciting. I'm glad she's written them, and I hope they get better. But I think you could just easily chop 150 pages off this book, make it like, I don't know, 150, 160, 180 page book, and it would be a lot better. Just get rid of all that unnecessary talk that really doesn't need to be there. That's my thoughts about it anyway. But I'm going to read the next one. But there's just too much, of that kind. It just goes on a bit. Skinny Nosh is in there quite a bit, which is good, because it's good to see him in there. Got rid of Hans and Conrad. Maybe she's wanting to be a bit different, but it's the only reason they've been got rid of. But there's another two guys instead of them. They're Bavarian, but you got these guys from, I think, Norwegian, Leaf, and I don't know what the other guy's name is. They're carpenters, but they're hardly in it. So it's kind of like, why get rid of Hans and Conrad if you're getting exactly the same kind of people? Worthington's still in it, and she does things like, it's like Dupe. It's like he's not that smart anymore. She does, and there are bits, if you read the old books, where Duke would come up with the solution, but he wouldn't tell anybody. If you remember them books, he would send it, and then you're waiting, and his friends wanted to find out what was going on, and he'd have a spark, and he wouldn't tell anybody yet, and it'd be like, you'd have to wait, and you think, what's he solved? Duke solved the case, kind of thing. Whereas this is one part where instead of you not finding out for a while, she'd tell you his faults. So it's like Duke had worked all these things out, and what he's thinking would be written down. So Duke worked this, and that's like, but why are we being told this now? That kind of thing. And there wasn't really much suspense to it. You know, really, I don't know. I just don't think at the moment it might go in the right direction. But then also she's supposed to have written 26 books in a short space of time. So if you're writing that many books and they're all done that quickly, you know, really, how good are they going to be? We just have to wait and see. Trying to think, can I add anything else to it? It's not a complete downer, and you know, I want them to be good. And she uses things, you can see she uses things from some of the older books where a boulder comes down the side of the mountain, which that happened in, what was it, Terror Castle, wasn't it, where something came down there and they're going up to the Terror Castle and somebody tried to, like, you know, throw boulders down. That kind of thing happened in this story, but it wasn't that big a thing. And only afterwards it's, oh, it was you who done it, and it was like, and then they kind of like do a theory eye, kind of talk about theory eye and you know, certain stuff. So you can see she's taken bits of the old stories and put them together. There are some good parts in it, but overall, I just think it's too long-winded. And if you're telling a story, especially this story's really aimed for boys, isn't it? You know, teenage kids. But obviously us old blokes are reading them because it was our childhood. But you've got to make it exciting, and you've got to make it, you know, fast-paced, keep going, something's happening here, oh, that's exciting. But it wasn't, it was a quite slow story. I'm probably repeating myself now anyway, but what I'll do now, I'll show a few of my books over there and have a look at them. Right, let me see if I can flip the camera. Wait a minute. Where are we? To here. So these are all the books I've got. I got a lot of it. Some of these ones I had all of them, and then what happened was I gave them all away to a charity shop years and years ago, and I think this is the only one I kept, this Vanishing Treasure, because it's my favourite story. And I bought a lot of these ones at the top from a guy called Seth, who runs a few of the groups, and he sells a lot of the books. He sells them and he collects them. He's got a great collection. Years ago, I think it must have been about 2012 when I bought a lot of books from him. Some of these ones here at the top, not all of them, some of them, and some I bought on eBay. Then they were so much cheaper than you could buy them for, and some I found in charity shops. So this cassette isn't my original one, but I don't think this one is either. I think I got one of these off eBay for about 30 quid, about 10, 12 years ago. I haven't bought any of these books for about a good 10 years now. At least, so that's up there, you can see some of them. That's like something found out of one of the stories, isn't it? That's solid silver, that. So these up here. Now, I'm glad that the books have come back, the stories have come back, and these German ones, the translations on them are really terrible. They should have got an English person to translate it from German, not a German person to English, because some of it's like, what? You know, it's a bit, the way it's done, you can see if somebody's not, English is not their first language, has translated it. And then here I've got quite a few more there. You can see all the Crime Busters. And there's a new Crime Buster one that I got from Ian. What's the new one called? Where is it? Have I got it there? I've put it anyway. I've got it somewhere. The one that was never printed. So I've got some Hardy Boys there as well. I wasn't that a big fan of the Hardy Boys. Ian Livingstone books. And there's some more there. And I'll move these up. To be honest, I haven't even really read these German ones. I've got all of them, I think. I think there were about 20 made. I think I've got them all. Something like that. And then I got some of the Tales to Scare You Stiff. Was it this one? There's some of them that, before he started writing The Three Investigators, I think I'm right in saying that Robert Arthur, he wrote some stories, compendium stories for Hitchcock, you know, like these ones here, Alfred Hitchcock's Solve Yourself Mysteries. Some of them were his stories. There, Witch's Brew, Daring Detectives, Haunted House Full. This one, I don't think this is my original one, but Marks and Spencer's and Clapham Junction. I got that. It's called St Michael's. Them days they used to call it. Mystery. There we are. There's another one there. What's this? Whale Tattoo or Hardy Boys. There you are. There's some more here, and there's some more there, and then there's a load more there. So I just hope that the stories get better. I just hope they get shorter, or they're these stories. It's just the story and it, not too much, going off waffling on about other things that really aren't relevant. I mean, you can't have like pages and pages of things, and it's kind of like sometimes the author's thinking out loud, and it just stops the story dead in its tracks, So that's it. Thank you for watching, and if I rambled on too much and talked a load of rubbish, give me a thumbs up anyway, thumbs down.